Hello everyone, Hawky here, back with another sort of Convallaria video. So I just wanted to clarify some of Marcille's skills. It wasn't really that clear in my guide video, especially on the mechanics of full mana. So it says when casting a class skill, so these are the class skills, recovers 2 energy, consumes 1 stack, can be stacked up to 2 times. So what that means is when you cast a class skill, it covers 2 energy times the number of full mana stacks that you have. So it occurs twice. So I have a 5-star Marcille here. The main difference between 3-star and 5-star is 3-star you only gain 1 stack after performing standby. 5-star you gain 2. This is a 3-star magic ladle, and at 5-star this cooldown goes from 3 down to 2. So with that out of the way, how Marcille is usually played is on the first turn you cast a 3-cost skill. For example, Explosion here, 3 cost, and then because we did an AoE, our Magic Ladle triggers and we can move 2 additional tiles. We gain 4 energy back because we had 2 stacks of full mana times 2 energy because we used the class skill, and that's why we have full energy. And then we end our turn, we gain our 5th energy, and then our full mana stacks up. So even at 3-star, this works the same. So now we're at 2 stacks of full mana, 5 energy, and then turn 2, we use a 4-cost skill like Powerful Explosion. So that's going to be huge. And what happens is we're going to consume 1 stack of full mana, and we're going to get 4 energy straight back because we initially started with 2 stacks here on turn 2 as well. So turn 3 we have full stacks here, and this is where the difference between a 3 and 5-star magic ladle actually appears, because this isn't going to trigger. So for example, I only have 1 stack of full mana, so what happens is I'm going to use Powerful Explosion, costing 4, but then I'll only get 2 back. So we end this turn at 4 energy because we get the 1 extra from ending our turn. So next turn we'll be at 4 energy. So if I do Powerful Explosion here. Okay, so yeah, 4 energy. And our Magic Ladle didn't trigger because it is at that 3-turn cooldown. So for example, now we have no full mana left. So that means any skill we cost will consume all the energy. We won't get anything back. So what happens here is we're actually going to end the turn at like 0 energy because of the Magic Ladle's going to trigger. And then after we end turn, we're only going to get 1 energy. So yeah, so 1 energy, but we do get 2 stacks of full mana because of the 5-star trait. So going back to turn 3. So turn 3 is the main one where we were sitting at 1 stack of full mana, but our Magic Ladle didn't trigger. So we can force it to trigger using a skill like March Command, because after you finish attacking, you can move again. So this actually triggers similar to Magic Ladle. So we do our AoE here. We consume the full mana stack. And now we can actually stand by and get the full mana stack back, right? And then we could see we went from 0 all the way back to 2 because of the 5-star trait. The 5-star is not really required for her. It just makes her full mana stacks last longer and she does a bit more damage. But having 3-star is already sufficient. The next skill I want to talk about is Mana Recovery. So this doesn't actually work the way we want it to. So some people think it's a bug. And the reason why is when we go to standby, there's 2 effects that trigger at standby. There's our trait where when we go standby, we gain 1 to 2 stacks depending on 3 or 5-star. And then Mana Recovery is if you're on standby, you gain 1 stack, or if you're on standby, if you have 2 stacks, you restore 1 energy, 20% HP, and attack 2. So technically, it could work like we cast the skill. Now magic ladle triggers, we go standby, and like if the trait recovers first, with the stack of full mana, that means we'll go up to 2 stacks, and then it checks mana recovery, and it's like, oh, we have full stacks, gain 1 energy and attack buffs and healing, right? But it doesn't work like that. It's like the order of operations doesn't work the way we want it to. So that's a bit unfortunate with this skill for mana recovery. Like the only time where you really trigger this 1 energy, 20% HP and attack 2 is when you don't actually use any skills. Like you're just moving to catch up to the boss, right? You just move a bit and you just stand by it. And that's it, right? Then you get the heal, get the energy. Vehicle went from 3 to 4 and has the attack 2 buff. So Marcille works quite well as a support unit. Like first turn, you do want to use a 3-cost skill, and something like short route gives everyone the move 2, especially at the start of the turn, because we have 2 stacks of full mana. So you're chasing, you're getting closer to the boss, and you essentially like move forward, buff up, and then that's your turn, right? And then other units rush closer to the boss. And then second turn, you have Marcille at 1 stack of full mana. But remember, we haven't triggered the magic ladle, and this is when we can use a debuff, big AoE, mana surge, magic defense, read down. So I feel like she's one of the better users of this, because the other unit that has this is Karis, and then there's SP Samantha, but they don't really want to use this sort of support skill. So we do the mana surge, magic defense 3 down, and we also get to move because of the magic ladle, and then we'll stand by, end our turn, and because I'm 5-star, I gain 2 stacks back. What can also happen is if you're using the mana recovery, 3 stars, this one will give you 1 stack, the mana recovery will give you another extra stack, and then 2 stacks full of mana. Your DPS does some damage, preferably magic DPS obviously, and then we're back to the 2 stacks of full mana, and then we can like spam more skills. I know. Like I feel like you could just spam this every turn, but you probably don't need it every turn, right? Because it does last for 2 turns. And then we just like spam the mana surge, and then DPS, and then turn 5, we spam it again. But if we had the 2-star magic ladle, we would have been able to stand by and get the full mana stacks back again to spam more. And another thing I want to point out is Marcille's kind of become a sort of selling point for the current Towerversity stage. So when CN had it, they had like Parzival, SP Samantha, and Marcille. But we were getting Marcille like next week, essentially, end of this week on Friday. And Marcille's actually really quite useful for this because of her alert skill, Incantation, right? So she does the alert here. You could see that with the alert here, so what happens is everything in this area zone does get vulnerable and move down. The units just die and get debuffed in the zone, which is quite unique because a lot of our debuffs affect the unit, not the area. So this is an AoE zone effect only during the preparation phase. So we can see here, Parzival's doing huge damage, huge AoE, stuns and kills the slimes. They respawn in the area, but they're still affected by the vulnerable 2 and the move down. So it just really amplifies the damage in that zone. Oh, is that assassin positions a bit different? Maybe no one's in the middle, that's why they're doing that. And then, yeah, Marcille's just sitting there, just chilling, still casting her preparation skill, while like all the AoE damage is going on these slimes. The new slimes spawn. Pretty similar to like, what we're doing for our current setup as well, for like, 2 turn clears, 3 turn clears. SP Samantha, huge AoE. We don't actually get for the current Towerversity, so yeah, Marcille's huge damage, and then she finishes off with powerful explosion there. So I do want to sort of emulate that sort of setup. So, for example, we have SP Nana, Call of Freedom, Parzival. We'll actually urgent order Marcille, like to make her increase, go ahead of Parzival, do the attack buff here. We throw down like the flag, and then we're going to go through with like an AoE here. This actually works because, you know, we have 5-star SP Nana, otherwise SP Nana doesn't do the flag, doesn't do the AoE. And then, yeah, they don't have any debuffs or anything, so Marcille comes in, does a preparation on like all these mobs, and then you can see they're all casted by the debuff, right? So we can see here, move 2 down, vulnerable 2, and yeah, Parzival's just going to come in and do like what I think like charge in into the middle here, and then he's going to go through with like a big AoE. Wait, not enough energy. It is what it is. Like, just imagine him just AoEing another time. Like, clearly didn't think this out too much, but yeah, just another big AoE. And yeah, because we sped up Marcille, Marcille's still casting, so yeah, still has all the debuffs there from Marcille still up, and then like Inanna does some AoE, Parzival does some more damage here, and yeah, just big AoE again. And then Marcille does her big AoE, but then after that, the debuff is gone. There's no vulnerable, no move down. Technically, after she casts, they do get the move 1 down from this, but because they died, the debuff is gone. And then she, as per the video, you know, finishes off with a big, powerful explosion skill. Look at that big AoE, and just goes bang. And then end of turn, a magic ladle did trigger because, yeah, just triggers off the AoE, and then yeah, end turn, and then that's it. So basically, they're sort of selling her for Towerversity because of the incantation, because of her loads of AoE. Like, doing the setup, you only really need to have like a 1-star Marcille because she already starts off with like, you know, 1 stack of full mana. Ideally, you do want to push her to 3 at some stage as well, because then you can do huge AoE spam, magic ladle. I mean, if you're doing it on lower with those like short-term clears, you don't actually need this. But later on, if she's spamming a lot of AoEs, you do want to do this so she can cycle through and gain the stacks of full mana back. Anyway, I hope that's clarified a few things about Marcille, and I'll see you guys next time.